video is brought to you by NOLASavage.com. If you use the coupon code TPL10, you get 10% off your order as well as a free lanyard. That's NOLASavage.com. As well as AP Photography. If you need good photos for your paintball, go to apphotography.com as well.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Paintball Lounge. I'm your host, Zachary, and today I have the man, the legend, Cory Andrews on the show. Thank you for joining us today.
Well, I appreciate it very much, Zach. I'm glad to be here, man.
So, how did you get started in paintball?
Oh, that's okay. That's one of my favorite questions that people ask me on a regular basis. I actually started I was around 9 years old. My cousin actually invited me to a birthday party out at Paintball Command. So that was my first time playing. We had Tippmann 98s, we still had CO2, we had 50 round hoppers. It was
old school.
It was old school to say the least. Now this was also, I believe, around the 2007 or 2008, somewhere around that range, that I actually played my first game. After that, I actually lived down the street, so I've always just been like, well, what is paintball? Like, what all goes into it, kind of thing.
Right.
So after that, I went home and I was like, well, are there any fields closer to me? I don't feel like driving 45 minutes out to a field.
Right.
I mean, who does? Not everybody. Now, for here, I make an exception, but this is my home. But
Shout out to Drew.
shout out Drew Banks.
So,
but I ended up searching, and this field popped up, and this was a 5-minute drive for me to get here every single weekend. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start playing. I'm gonna start doing this.
Right.
But so I come in here. I talked to Drew at 9 years old. Came in here. I bought a Tippmann A5, a steel 3000 psi tank, and I bought. Let's see, what mask was it? I bought a GI Sports Profiler for my first mask. And I think that's where it all really began for me.
And then you started to upgrade to more guns and more guns and more guns down the road.
Oh yeah. I think after the first 3 months, I got tired of using the A5. It was just too heavy, too bulky. Didn't shoot fast enough for the times. So I upgraded from that to an original Proto Rail, which was 2011. I bought that Proto Rail. And then after that, I went and got an Ego 6, and then I stuck with Planet until 2014. I bought my first die gun. I bought I think it was a DM12 or something along those ranges. I bought one of those, bought it used off of a guy out here.
Right.
It continued growing from there. By 2017, I ended up having 14 guns, and I had about 85 masks.
Dang, I thought I was bad. So, everybody knows you're here for playing Team 13, with Team 13. Is that correct?
Well, so here's the thing. I was never officially a part of Team 13. I was on the practice squad whenever all this started and everything, but I never wanted to put myself in another position to hurt myself again. Because back in the day, whenever I took my break, I did injure myself, and I did go on leave for a while.
Right.
I moved out to a condo in Mississippi and just stayed off the beach and everything, just to live a happy life for a year. Then I came back here.
It's like a home invasion for you. It's like, come back to us.
Yep, this is my home. It will always be my home.
Right, that's understandable. I mean, we're all family here. That's what paintball's about. It's
Oh
family.
yeah.
So, did you play any big events? Like any big events, not NXL wise or anything like that?
Okay, so non-NXL. Okay, so I did. I have played a couple of them. I played Oklahoma D-Day in 2013.
Wow.
I played 4 TXR events for their big games hosted by Viper. I can't remember which one it was, but I played the Holy Grail Cup. I played the Star Wars and 2 other ones back in like 2014 through 16. I can't remember the names of them though. It'd been so long.
Dang. So, do you know Mike? Mike Woods?
Oh yeah, me and Mike Wood go way back. Me and Mike Wood started around the same time playing paintball, and we were always coming out here on Saturdays. Saturdays was our big day.
Right.
And almost every weekend we'd be out here just playing our hearts out.
Shoot, that's wow. So you didn't play any big events at Speedball, but
No, I never really played any like NXL. I did play one PSP event before it went out. I played one PSP, and I think it was in think it might have been Dallas, PSP Dallas. I played one rookie event there, and that's the only, that's the only thing that I did for any sort of speedball tournament, and we lost really bad.
Right. So, how did you feel when LAX was going to be here? Like, the moment you knew that LAX Hayes in my hometown, how did that feel for you?
It felt amazing. Like, whenever this, this place has been open since like 2000.
Right.
I started here, actually playing at this facility in 2008.
Right.
Was my first official year playing here, and I haven't left. This is by far the premier field anywhere within a 4-hour radius of here.
Wow, that's pretty good. Like, I'm actually speechless because you're like a die loyalty here.
Oh yeah, I mean, Drew is like a second father to me. I'm not gonna lie.
I think he's a father to everybody.
I have known Drew for 15 years now. I have known him more than 70% of my lifespan so far. Like, he's always been there for me. He's always stood by me and all this stuff. And he helped me a lot of the times.
So, now let's get down to this. You retired.
Yes.
How did it felt for you knowing that you had to retire? Like, you were...
Well, okay. So retiring in paintball is a little different. Because you never, unless you went pro and have a pro thing, you don't actually retire from paintball.
Right.
It's more of, I'm going on an extended period of a break. That's really how that works. Like, I'll come back, I'll play one event a year or something along those ranges. But that's really, to my ability, that's what I'm comfortable playing. I wouldn't be like these guys coming out here and playing every single weekend. I couldn't do that again.
Right. I mean, you actually played the mechanical tournament that's just now happening here at LAX. How was that? Like, the field to go on there, even though it was a random draw.
I think it was fantastic. Really? Not gonna lie. I think it is running a street ball event is probably one of my favorite things in paintball, just because everything is random. Literally everything, from your teammates to having a blind layout, literally everything is random, and you have to go out there and make up a strategy and everything on the fly within the time span of the points.
Right. I mean, when I saw you playing, I was like, this shall be good. And what was your score, though?
We didn't do very good. I'm not gonna lie. We went 1-7-1.
Ooh.
Yeah. We did tie one game. We tied against the. I can't remember which team we tied against. I think Joey and Nick were on that team. Shout out, I hate paintball. But I'm pretty sure they were on that team, and we ended up tying. And it was a good match. It was a good matchup. It was a really great game.
Right.
We just. Coming in blind, it's a really hard thing to adapt to.
And so I think you play with Drew Bell against on one of the points. Is that correct?
We played against Drew Bell once. We played against.
How did that felt like facing the?
Well, you gotta think.
The number one fast shooter.
You gotta think. This is a mech ball event. This isn't like, holy shit, this guy is shooting 10.5 at me, not giving me space. You're getting maybe 9, maybe 11 sometimes if your hopper keeps up with you. But really, on a normal time playing a mech ball event, you're not going over like 5 or 6.
Right.
So there's a lot more gaps that you can run, a lot more free space to roam, and a lot more gaps you can shoot. So it's always one of those things. It's like, yeah, he's pro. He's really fucking good. Not even gonna lie about that. No. But whenever everyone's using the same type of equipment and everyone has the same mindset, it really comes down to your team and a breakdown of communication at that point.
Right. And it's also your skills. Like when you're knowing your lanes, knowing your how to, like, hey, I gotta shoot this guy, or I gotta shoot this guy so I can score the point, so I can grab the flag, so I can get my team up ahead.
Oh yeah, it's a huge thing with making up how you're going to be doing this, especially when you have a pro on your team that understands paintball to the extent that they do. They can give you tips, pointers, and everything else throughout the day, and they can just keep you coming up. It's not really like a downfall type of play at all.
They always want to grow the sport. They want to make the sport even bigger, because I knew back in I think it was 2006 or something, we were on ESPN, and But then that did not turn well.
Oh yeah, well, so paintball, it's one of those things. If you don't understand paintball, it's hard to watch paintball.
Right.
So it's like if you don't know how points work, people don't realize it's 5 versus 5, split deck whenever you're going through X ball. They don't understand how the scoring works with buzzers, especially like center flag. It gets lost, confused. People get confused on the names of people because there's hundreds. There's literally hundreds of players that come out to these events instead of like something like NFL or something. You only got like what, 60 people per team that you have to keep track of.
And all you watch is just the ball.
Yep.
When paintball, you have to watch like 10,000 balls going at it, and you don't even know where the ball is going at.
Yeah, and I mean, you got to think, it's 5 guys shooting 10 balls per second off that line. That's what? That's like 500 rounds?
Yeah.
In like a couple seconds?
Yeah, so it's like, it's kind of hard to like know what's going on. Only thing you do know is like, oh, he hit the buzzer, or he didn't, or this person.
Or someone
flag.
toweled, or someone got penalties. Like, how are you going to explain to someone that's brand new that guy got a major for having a hit on his hopper?
Right.
Like, you can't, it's so hard to explain stuff like that.
So, another question is this. So you were during the time where the NXL came up.
Yes.
How did that feel for you, knowing that this is there's no more MPPL, PSP, this is their rules, NXL style. How did that feel for you?
So it wasn't really like a hard transition for me because I wasn't playing like any of the major events or anything of those lines. It was really just all the gun changes. So like how the guns shoot, what settings you're required to put them on. I mean, the FPS cap has always been 300, so that never changed. But the balls per second, that's fluctuating every 5 years. We can give them that. Like it's moving constantly, and you kind of just adapt over time. You like, oh, okay, we're changing to this. All right, cool, easy enough. Just click a few buttons, and now your gun's set to that.
Yeah, because not a lot of people like the fact that it's 10 balls per second. Some people like old school that they want 15 balls per second or 12 balls per second. And,
yeah.
There a lot of people have their opinions about it.
Oh, always.
But knowing you, like you've been playing when PSP and MPPL were out, and then transitioned to the NXL, I probably want your review on that. But yeah, you just gotta adapt everything.
Oh yeah.
And so, what got you into photography though?
So photography, that's another thing.
Yeah, let's talk about photography because you are making like photos like portrait size, like holy yeah.
Well, I do strive to be as good as I can. I think that's with any photographer. There's always room for improvement, and you can always get better. But what started it for me is I was handed a camera at like 9 years old. I took pictures around the house. I went out to random soccer events and stuff like that because I used to play soccer back whenever I was 6, 7 years old. So I used to just go take pictures, and I really enjoyed doing it. And now whenever I come back here, it's like, well, I've seen a lot of people like the NXL posting all these pictures. And it's like, I want to do that. I want to make these heavy public paintball posts with these really, really nice photos and get people's attention. And that's just what I strive to do. I want people to look at a photo from me and be like, wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, because your photos are just legend. Because and around the South, of course, because anytime there's a tournament here at LAX or wherever, guerrilla warfare, wherever, your picture, like you're the first one to call. Like, call Cory or talk to Cory, see if you can get him to take pictures, and your photos are just so crispy.
And that's years of practice. That's doing paintball now for 3 years, 3 years straight. Now doing paintball photography. It's definitely a huge amount of trial and error. I can say that I go through thousands of photos every time, like, I could have done this way better, or I could have did this way better, or I missed this shot because of this problem that I need to fix for next time. And it's always changing. There's always different settings and always different things that come around the paintball field. It's an unpredictable thing.
Right. That's understandable. And as well as you got your girl, Bree, who helps you with
she
the
helps
settings and everything.
She helps me keep this thing alive. If I didn't have her, I don't know where I would be. That's the dead honest truth though. She keeps me up on my feet and makes sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
Sounds like you're all married already.
Close enough.
Where's the ring?
Wait, she's got one.
Oh. Well, playing for the wedding day, but
oh yeah, it's like next year sometime or something.
Oh
like
God.
That.
That's gonna be the big wedding of the South.
Oh yeah, probably. We're gonna invite the whole paintball field and everything.
Oh God, I better be in that wedding.
We probably should have. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have like 180 guests.
Dang!
So if we actually plan it out accordingly, it's probably gonna be closer to 200.
Damn. So so how, knowing that you just started with NXL, like what, last year? You started taking pictures in NXL last year?
I started doing it at World Cup last year. It was my first time doing pictures for the NXL.
So how did that feel knowing that you were going to do pictures at the kind of like WrestleMania? It's like that.
It feels fantastic. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Every photo I've taken from an NXL event, I don't know what it is, but it always looks 10 times better than anything I've ever done. I don't know if it's just the way the fields are laid out, or that it's the grass, or having the nice colorful bunkers that they always have, because they're always changing.
Right.
But for some reason, every time I go to take those pictures, they pop. They have really cool color depth, and all of them are just really, really, really sharp images. And will I ever understand it? Probably not. But just going out to those events, it means the world to me to be able to do that sort of thing.
Right. So, if you, like, what's the next for the business? Like, are you going to have your website, or?
So, we're going to be trying to do a website soon. We had some errors in the last one that we made. For some reason, we never could get it to actually stay up and live. So, we'll be working on that.
Right.
But hopefully, we're actually going to be transitioning into more of the videography side soon. Not necessarily permanently switching over. I'll still always do my pictures just because I love to do them.
Oh yeah, because you're known as for your pictures.
Oh yeah.
I'm about to say, you better keep your picture.
Oh yeah, keep the pictures, but I want to be known for both. I want to be known for doing everything out here.
Right. And probably the next thing you probably should do is live commentary.
That is something I've thought about. The only thing is, live commentary on games like this get really expensive. Like having the gear to run all that, it gets to be a lot over time.
I'm not gonna lie, it does. So, you're also sponsored. You sponsor Bearcats, right?
I sponsor Bearcats. I sponsored the Po Boys whenever they were around. I'm not sure what exactly happened with that. And I also now sponsor Destiny NOLA, which is my new team with the Destiny NOLA kids and everything.
Wow.
Yep.
So, and now you're going to be traveling with them to different events if they call for you?
Yeah, just whatever events they want me to follow with is usually I'll just go with them, and I'll get their products that they need and get them out with as much speed as I possibly can and make them look as good as they can.
You should. What's your intake of doing like merchandising, like T-shirts or?
So I've debated it. But with photography, it's a little different. Mm-hmm. So not everyone wants to wear a photography shirt. Right. That's more of like a hats region.
Yeah.
But I've debated it. I'm still going over certain designs and everything because I have a couple in mind that I kind of want to use.
Right.
But I never got around to actually finalizing one.
Right.
But maybe by the end of this year, we might have a couple things put out.
That's good. I mean, you should, because honestly, like I said, your photography is legend and people know you, and I think you should get out there. I mean, make a name for yourself, like you said. So what is the life of actually photography for paintball? Because I know it's hard work. I know it's exhausted.
I even see Brie in the background. She's just rolling her eyes. Now, it is a lot of work, and stressful is probably an understatement because it's usually a time crunch for these types of things.
Right.
Is people want their photos and videos as fast as possible, which, I mean, understandable. If you're paying for photos, why not want them as fast as you possibly can get them?
Right.
But whenever my average is, I think I take roughly 12 to 14,000 photos per event.
Right.
And that's just one-day events. On 3-day events, I can run upwards of 35,000 photos. And on one-day events, I'm averaging around 2 hours of video footage along with that. So it usually, for me, I try to make it to where I run about 2,000 photos edited per day, whether that just be sorting them, deleting some that I don't like, or actually finalizing photos. But it's hard. It's like you wake up at 5 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, you drive out to these events, you spend all day in the sun without any protection unless you bring an umbrella, which I need to get a new one because I broke mine. They got shot many times. But you're sitting in the heat. Now, sitting in the heat is way worse than playing. I can confirm that on so many levels.
I can confirm that too.
Like even playing today, it was so much cooler, even though it is 96 degrees out here. I felt nowhere near as hot as I do whenever I'm sitting on that field taking pictures and video.
Because isn't that turf supposed to be hot wind because of the heat?
Oh
and
yeah,
grass
that
is,
turf's
like, nice and cool.
That turf's probably around 130 degrees on average whenever it
I
gets
might have
as
to
hot
cook
as
a
it
piece of
is.
steak on that thing.
You probably could.
Idea.
But yeah, you end up doing that, and then you got to think like, okay, now I got to drive home. All of this has to be uploaded into the computer.
Right.
It has to be sorted by teams. It has to be sorted by the points, and then you have to make sure you actually have pictures of everyone on that team. Which for paintball, it's really not that hard, but at the same time, it's like, did I get a good shot of him?
Right.
That's the hard part, is making
Right.
sure that
Going
you
through
have
the-
that nice shot.
Yeah, go through that nice shot, editing, make sure, okay, this doesn't look blurry, this looks sharp as hell. You want to get that good, like, crispy photo so people
yeah.
can be like, hey, that's my son, or that's my daughter, or that's my this, that's my that. Right?
Oh yeah.
Shout out to Drew who just walked there.
Oh yeah.
But,
That's all right.
so, on your point, how do you feel about Ashley's her on photography? Because she also does it as well.
Oh yeah, I think she's a fantastic photographer. She's a real cool person. How you doing?
We got guys around here on the Paintball Lounge. Hey, we're the best podcast in the South, so we get all these publicity now.
Oh yeah, but back on Ashley. I think she's a fantastic photographer.
Right.
But we're always learning. Like she's doing a lot of work. She's put out a lot of good work. I've seen a lot of her video on YouTube. I've seen a lot of her photos circulating around. I think she's a fantastic photographer. She's got a really good business model going for her, and I hope the best for her whenever she continues growing.
Right. And are you gonna like think about being sponsored by a professional team?
No, I don't think I'd ever get to that point, just because if you're doing NXL, you get sponsored by NXL themselves.
Right.
So for the pro teams, they don't have dedicated photographers or anything like that. They're more along the lines of, you get the photos, we pay for them. We don't care who you are. So
Right.
that's just kind of how the pro circuit works.
Well, if you did get it and sponsored by NXL, who would you take photos for? Like, would it be X Factor, Dynasty?
You know, I would love to do the Canes. Now, I know that's being a little biased since I'm from New Orleans, where they're from as well.
Right.
But the colors of their jerseys pop so well in photos that it is always an amazing time taking their photos.
Right. Well, they're white.
Well, not even just the white ones, like the ones that are darker teal that have the actual Hurricanes logo. Those blues and blacks, they pop the most on jerseys.
Huh. Well, there you have it. He will mostly be sponsoring the Canes again.
Yeah, I wouldn't. They probably won't go for that, so don't quote me on this kind of stuff. But you know,
Don't hammer him, Jesse.
no.
So let's talk about Jesse. Do you know Jesse Stevens?
I know him. I know him pretty well.
What's your relationship with him? Like, do you like y'all play together or?
We never like officially played together or anything like that. I've been to a lot of his trainings. I've done a lot of stuff with him. I did. I think he left here right before I actually got heavily into paintball. So I never got a full chance to like play with him on a daily basis or on a weekend basis. I never really got that chance. So which, I mean, yeah, it's kind of a bummer, but it's also at the same time, like whenever he does come and he'll teach me some things, it made me a better player. Which, I mean, kudos to him for doing what he does, because I know sure as hell that I wouldn't be able to.
So, were you here for Bunkerfest?
I was actually taking photos for it as well.
So how do you, in your opinion, what was Bunkerfest like for you, knowing that we had the biggest, like almost biggest event here?
Oh, it was actually ridiculous. Like I can't even lie. Like I was so busy on my day-to-day running between fields for those 2 days that I went home, I forgot to eat and just went to bed. Like I would wake up in the morning and be like, wow, I'm a little hungry, and realize, oh yeah, I forgot to eat yesterday. Let's go do that, and then we'll get right back out in the field at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, because I know your girl was she had a booth there for massaging.
Yep.
And I see you going there mostly between the points to where you're sitting with her and.
Well, she had my fan, so you know I had to cool off somehow.
Yeah, because you were running off. You were probably, whoo,
Oh yeah, I was running everywhere. I think I had a solid 7 hours of not being able to sit down.
Oh, that is miserable. I couldn't imagine that. But were you actually taking photos of the winning teams that did?
I don't think I had any teams that were getting photos from me that won. But I ended up taking photos for 11 teams total over the course of the 2 days.
11 teams?
11 teams total.
What the fuck?
Yeah, no, it was a busy time. I ended up taking a little over 75,000 photos.
So if Drew has the another Bunkfest, which is gonna be, it will be coming.
Oh yeah, eventually.
In 2024, Bunkerfest will come back here.
Oh yeah.
Are you gonna be taking photos again?
Of course, I have to. I don't have another option there. This is my home field. I gotta make them look as good as possible. So yeah, I'm gonna be taking as many photos as I can.
Sure. Well, what do you think, in your own opinion, what do you think Drew should do to make this a little bit more, upgrade it a little bit?
Well, okay, so there's terms of upgrading. Honestly, with what we have right now, I think where we're at is great.
Good.
We have 2 operating fields for airball. We have
Which
a
was
good set of
big
refs.
step.
Yeah, which was a huge step, especially whenever we started Bunker Fest. Getting that second field was an amazing thing. But I think it was a great thing. Like just having, I think we're in a really good spot. I don't see like any reason for us to really expand other than, Drew, give me a mounds field and we'll have some fun talking about that one.
No, God.
Because I want to play some mounds.
Oh, yeah, some hyperballs.
Some hyperball, some mounds, rec ball, living back the old days. This was just really fun.
Think about it, Drew. Come on, you got someone. You got 2 people who do it. But no. So I'm going to ask you some. We actually have a question from one of the people who actually want to know.
All right.
And his name is Blaze, who is also part of my team, the Aces and Eights.
All right.
He asks, what was your absolute worst accidental hit on the field?
As in hit the equipment or
Anything, really.
anything. Ooh. So recently I lost my microphone. That got shot and broke off the top of the camera. That one does not have audio right now, which will be fixed soon. I have one on order that'll be here probably next week.
Okay, good.
It's already getting fixed. But I had a couple go directly into the lens. Whenever I had my old camera, I did have one actually shatter one of my big lenses, which is a $5,000 shot to the lens. Which most people don't realize is that's how much this stuff actually costs.
Wow. That's more than my paycheck.
Yeah, it takes me a long time to get this gear, and it's acquired over years and years of getting it. It's not like something you just go out and be like, "Yep, just gonna buy that. It'll be fine." Nope, doesn't happen.
So, and he also asked another question: was this? What was the worst game or event that you played in?
Worst game or event? Ooh.
Because I know you were at the Guerrilla Warfare before it shut down.
Yeah, well, I can't really count that as the worst, just for the fact that it got shut down because of angry neighbors. I was having fun at that event.
Right.
So I have no reason to be mad. Now, I did play one out in, I'm trying to remember, it was somewhere in, I think it was Alabama. It was 2011. I can't even remember the name of the field or anything. But we ended up playing 3 games. And there was nobody signed up. We don't even know what happened, and they just they decided to keep it running with 7 teams. So I don't even know what happened. We don't know. We paid $500 to go for an event for all 5 of us, and we only played 3 games. And then it was okay, cool, we're good, goodbye.
Wow.
So yeah, I don't know what happened there.
That's probably the worst event.
That was probably the worst that I've been through.
What's the best event that you play in?
Best event that I've played in.
It could be today. It could be
I know what the best event that I've played in is. When we first got this airball field here, we had a bragging rights 3v3 tournament. It was me, Eric, and John Valero. We went undefeated for that entire day. We never lost a single point. That had to be my favorite ever event, just for the fact that we did that. Were there cash prizes? No. Were there prizes at the end? No. We played this strictly to be ha, I beat you.
So it was basically territorial rights. Basically.
Oh yeah, pretty much. All right.
I'm tired and everything.
Oh, you're good.
So, so let's. I'm gonna start shooting you some lightning questions.
All right, go for it.
So, what is your favorite marker?
Favorite marker, Geo 3.5, all day.
Geo 3.5.
That is my favorite marker to ever
That's
exist.
Geo 3.5.
That is my favorite marker to ever exist.
What? Okay. What about your favorite mask?
Favorite mask. Looks wise, I love the grills. I just always have, always will. I think they look good coming down the field. Comfort wise, though, my favorite mask has to be the original Virtue Vios. Those were probably the most comfortable mask I had ever worn just because of their foam.
Wow. So, okay, what's the biggest pet peeve in paintball? What's the biggest pet peeve?
People shooting the photographer.
Seriously?
Yeah, that's biggest pet peeve. We're out there to make you look good. Stop shooting us.
Because I thought your biggest pet peeve would be like frozen paintball or something
No,
like that.
frozen paintballs don't exist.
paintball.
No, that's a myth. That was on MythBusters one time. They put it as a myth. that was busted.
So, yeah, I know you're sweating, you're tired.
Oh yeah, and it's hot.
I know this was supposed to be an hour long like interview, but it's not. But I'm sorry, y'all, but it's hot and tired here. But what do you have any questions for me, or like for the podcast, or for?
I don't think I really do. But let me see if I can think about this for 1 second. What are your plans with all of this podcast and everything? Like, how far do you want to go?
Actually, that's actually a good question. That really is. So, the whole idea of doing the podcast is to show people, or hopefully in the United States, that in the South, we may not have the biggest sponsorship, the biggest like factory right next to us or anything, but we are humble and we're family here. Like, we're gonna show y'all a good time.
Oh yeah.
Because we never had the experience. We never did. And the paintball whole industry, we never got the experience from pro players till now. But that didn't stop us from showing at NXL or other events that, hey, we're from Slidell, Louisiana, or we play in Slidell, Louisiana, and we'll treat you like family.
Oh yeah, always.
So I wanted to do that. I wanted to give it back to the community by showing people like, hey, come down to Louisiana. We'll take care of you, and this is where we play. And I want to go far. I do want to go far, and where I do get a chance to go NXL and meet people and stuff like that. But right now, I'm comfortable right here.
Comfortable, keep it local.
Keep it local. Hopefully we can get high. I really want to get high with the amount of viewers and everything to where that I can get to where I want to be.
Oh yeah, understandable completely.
But like I said, man, I know you're tired because you played that mechanical tournament.
Oh yeah, that was ridiculous.
How many years?
It's been 2 years. Well, no, it's been 1.5 years since I stepped on a paintball field to play.
So yeah, you're probably tired.
Oh yeah.
But I appreciate you coming on here.
Oh, it's no problem. Happy to be here.
That is the Paintball Lounge, y'all. Follow this guy on Facebook. That's AP Photography. He does amazing job. Okay, so I highly recommend it. He doesn't do just for paintball. He does for weddings or y'all portrait, whatever.
I think I do literally everything now.
Just literally hit him up on Facebook, which I'll put in the description. And thank you, Cory, for joining us today, man.
Well, I appreciate it. Thanks for having me out here.
No
man.
problem. No problem.
That was the interview with Cory Andrews from AP Photography. He's a really nice guy. He does great with his photographies. They're always come crispy and everything, and everybody loves them. So if y'all want to get crispy, good photos of when you're playing or just for a bridal shower, whatever you want, go to APP Photography. I'll leave the description down below on his Facebook page so you can talk to him and see if you can get photos from him. As well as go to nolasavage.com and use the coupon code TPL10 to get 10% off. Plus, you get a free lanyard. That's not bad price. And support this channel, the podcast, all of it. Support it because we're trying to get people into paintball more often, as well as show people that hey, we're from Louisiana, but we're hot. We're going to show you great hospitality and we're humble, and that's our main goal. So thank you for all the support y'all have been giving to this podcast as well to the sport. And I'll see y'all in the next episode. Peace.